Okay, I'm gonna make this a short one. It is, I don't know, sometime in August, getting closer to mid-August. Um, just moved, y'all. Remember I was talking about my landlord turning into a slumlord? Well, he kind of got pretty bad, but we're out of there, so don't have to worry about that anymore. But what's kind of funny about this is his real name is Nirmal, Nirmal, and everybody refers to him as Nick. And what's funny is I was on YouTube watching or not YouTube, Netflix, watching movies, and one of the suggested movies was No Good Nick. I don't know what it's about. It's just funny because my ex-landlord went by Nick. It's what he wanted everybody to call him. That wasn't part of his culture. So that was good. But anyway, I'm enjoying the new place. We're still unpacking and everything. It's a second floor apartment. Don't like that too much. But other than that, uh, they pay for the water, they supply the water. Whereas in our old apartment, we had to pay for our own water bill. And that got very expensive very quickly. Uh, East Bay Mud, who is our water, or the water area for us, they have this tier program. They encourage you to use as little bit of water as possible, but then they charge you a higher rate. But the more you use, the lower your rate, which didn't make no sense. So I could use, they said I should use like 100 gallons or whatever it is per person per day, or it was some weird number. If you use less than that, you pay more than somebody that's using a couple hundred gallons over what they figure you should use per person per day. And it didn't make no sense. Well, now I don't have to worry about that. Um, it's kind of nice. Uh, because we supplied our own water, we had our own hot water heaters, so we had to pay for the gas to heat the water up. And that added money to the bill. It was just one thing after another. But here, no water bill. They supply everything. So our electric bill is going to go up. We have because it's second floor, and we both have asthma and whatnot, and blood pressure problems and all sorts of craziness. Anyway, the heat affects us a little more. Me, I almost had a heat stroke years ago when I was a youngster, and now I'm more susceptible to it. So we've got a couple of window air conditioners. I already had a 5,000 BTU to cool the bedroom down, and that would help some. If I got too hot, I just go in there and sit and cool back down. But because the whole house is hot, we went ahead and got a 10,000 BTU window air conditioner for the living room and kitchen area. And between the two of them, they do help. Could have used a 12,000 BTU air conditioner, but that's like $500 right there. And the one we got was only $350. So big difference. We're still getting set up. I've got to take my stuff that's in. I took out the garage at the old place and everything. I've got to take that out of here and put it into storage. It's actually sitting in the back of my truck parked downstairs. So I gotta get that done in the next day or two because I'm trying to catch up on sleep because I am just exhausted after the move. It's been crazy. It was weird. The day before we moved, I had driven my truck that I don't know if I don't remember if I showed it to you all or not. I call it the Beast because it is a true beast. Anyway, day before the move, I had driven it no problems. It drove just fine, ran fine. And then the day of the move, I've got it loaded it up and ready to come over here with a load of stuff that we didn't want the movers touching. Our housing paid for movers to move us, which was, I didn't want to do that, but it's what they insisted on, so we had no choice. But anyway, I had the truck loaded down, and they loaded all the other stuff into their truck, and we went to leave, and my truck wouldn't start. It would crank just fine, crank all day long, but it would not start and run. It would backfire occasionally, and I worked with it all that week. Now, I still had to empty out the garage myself and move all that stuff. So, anyway, I sat there and I fought with it and fought with it. I mean, I'd already put some new ignition parts on there, new ignition switch. Um, it had a brand new distributor in there and put in April. And it just would not start. I couldn't get any spark through the spark plugs. And finally, it was the Sunday after we had moved all the stuff out of the apartment. I was actually talking to one of my friends over there, and I was telling him what was going on and what I had done. And he's like, "Huh, that's weird," because I'd already put a new coil on there, new ignition module, and I'm sitting here. I mean, I was just going crazy. And then all of a sudden, I was like, "Hold up! One thing I have not checked," and it was glaring me in the face. I done had my distributor cap off several times, checking everything out, making sure everything was working, and finally, it dawned on me, pull the distributor cap off and try and crank it and see if the rotor inside the distributor would turn. It wasn't turning. Okay, so now I knew I had a bad distributor. But I had bought the distributor through the commercial desk at AutoZone, and of course the commercial desk is closed on a Sunday, so I couldn't do anything until Monday. I went ahead and pulled the distributor out, and the gear that's held onto the shaft by what's called a little roll pin, it had sheared the roll pin, and the gear was still sitting down on top of the cam. And it was truly weird. I went and tried to turn the distributor shaft, and it would not turn. I couldn't turn it from the bottom. I went and grabbed it up top, inside where the distributor cap was off, and tried to turn it like that, and I could barely make it turn. So, for whatever reason, the bearings had seized up and had sheared the roll pin, because the gear was still trying to turn. That was no fun. But anyway, I got it up and running again and got my stuff out of the garage. It took me, 3 or 4 trips to storage, but at least I got that done. There's a few things that are over there, but one of the neighbors is taking care of this stuff, so I'm happy, they're happy. Then, sorry, but then everything's working out. You know, we're paying less right now for our apartment than we were over there. The apartment's, I don't know, a little bit bigger, probably 50, maybe 100 square foot bigger than the other one, which is, it's nice. You know, all in all, we got a better deal. So, I'm not going to complain about it. But I do know this, it's kind of late at night. It's like the middle of the night right now. Fixing to go to sleep. Last night I did not sleep good at all. And when I say I did not sleep good, I laid there and could not get to sleep, not even with my evening meds that usually knock me out. I have to use a CPAP machine because I have sleep apnea. And I'm using what's called the nose pillows. And I use those because if I try to use the nose mask or face mask, I get claustrophobic. And it works, it helps. I don't know why, but I'll put it on. I'll put it on when I go to sleep, and when I wake up in the morning, it's off. Sometime in the night, I took it off. I don't know when I did it. very aggravating. But anyway, last night I couldn't use it. I was laying there. Finally, I got up, went in the living room, and sat in the recliner and was watching videos on my phone, and I fell asleep for about an hour. Woke up, came back in here to bed, laid down, and fell asleep right away. I didn't even have a chance to put the mask on or put the nose pillows on, so I didn't get to use it at all last night, which isn't good. I was so tired today, I took me a nap, and I used it a little bit for my nap. But this move wore me out. And right now, I'm in need of big time money because we wound up spending a lot more than we had planned. But what can you do? It's all good though. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Oh, and according to YouTube, until I get 1,000 subscribers, they will not let me do live feeds through my mobile phones. So that kind of sucks. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. Y'all comment, like, and subscribe. And have a wonderful week.